Welcome back to the Sports Booth YouTube channel. Today I am just looking and doing a review of the All Black squad that was just named on Monday for the Island Series, the Steinlarger Series as they call it. 3 matches to be played against, for a test to be played against the Irish squad, who look very strong. Obviously got a famous victory last year as we travelled over there for the Northern Hemisphere Series. So after the Super Rugby season, the first squad, it always is interesting. Is there going to be any bolters? And a couple of surprising picks were made, and I'll run through them and run through the squad and kind of give you my thoughts and my opinion on what happened, who I think is unlucky, who I think deserved to miss out, who I think deserved to be in the squad and maybe just missed out, and an all-round feel of this first All Black squad of the year. Starting off with the hookers, we have Dane Coles, Cody Taylor and Samisoni Takahihau. Obviously, Asaf Amor and Kurt Eklund are kind of the 2 big names left out there. I think these 3 were always going to be selected from what I've seen in Super Rugby. Dane Coles, yeah, he may be on his last legs, but he's still seen as one of the best, if not the best, hookers in New Zealand, along with Cody Taylor. So those 2 were kind of foregone conclusion. As long as Dane Coles is healthy, he's going to be in the squad. So then it's down for, free players for 1 spot. And I think Takahihau has been the best of the bunch. I kind of think Amor's had his opportunities to take a starting spot and didn't really take it while Coles was out injured. I think he's definitely there and thereabouts. He's that third hooker is kind of his spot at the moment. And I think those 3, the Takahihau, Amor and Eklund, are going to build into the 3 hookers of the future once Taylor and Coles move on. But I think for now, it was the right choice. Takahihau's looked like a dominant force in Super Rugby and deserved a spot. I always, as good as Eklund's been, is it because he's behind that great Blues front forward pack, and is that the reason he's being pushed there? I definitely think seeing him in the Māori All Blacks will push him through, which we've seen named today. So I think, again, the right selections made here as expected. Into the props, we had George Bauer, Nepalalala, Aidan Ross, Angus Tauaval, Karl Tui Onukaafe, and Ofa Tuingafasi. I think we kind of had about 5 picked. I think Aidan Ross definitely deserves a spot as the new cap in there. We kind of had the other 4 picked in Tuingafasi, Tauaval, Laulala, and Bauer. All 4 of them deserve it of their spots. I think Big Carl's probably lucky, especially since he's heading overseas. I don't think he's had the best season. I was interested there. I think the biggest loser out of this bunch is Ethan de Groot. And even, I think, Owen Franks, I know I selected him in our squad, our sports booth kind of predicted team. I think those 2 are, I don't think Owen Franks really minds, but I just think the way he came in for the Hurricanes was a big one. Tyrell Lomax, obviously former All Black, misses out, but I think the biggest loser here is Ethan de Groot. I'm not angry about it. I think, again, he's a player that they'll have bracketed, an injury goes down, he's in there. You've got to think Joe Moody was also missing this series, so that'll be an interesting, I guess, play once he comes back, who actually misses out, who's going to be in there. But all in all, I think other than Ethan de Groot bracketed, I think a strong propping team name. I think, yeah, Ethan de Groot's, the performance he put in, especially in the quarterfinal against the Blues in the scrum, seems like an interesting miss. I don't know what more he could have done if they want him to be more mobile or stuff. But yeah, and then a name who played well all season is his propping partner, Jermaine Ainsley, misses out, but I think, again, has been selected in that Māori squad. So a good, I guess, step in the right direction for him and experience to play against that Irish side for that Māori All Black side. Into the locks, we've got our first kind of interesting pick, I think. 4 guaranteed selections. Brodie Retallick, Scott Barrett, Sam Whitelock, and Tupavai, all 100% the locks. Then Josh Lord's made it. Now, Josh Lord has played very well this season. I'm not against him making it. I think it's another good experience, another good step for him. I think Tom Robinson was a little unlucky, especially with him having to cover back row and the second row. So I think he's a little bit unlucky. I'm not mad. I probably would have selected 4 locks. I think obviously Patrick Tuipulotu being made ineligible means it had just come in for Josh Lord. But yeah, I think that's the interesting pick for me. Then we move into the back row, or the loosies. We've got Sam Cane, captain, Akiri Ioane, Dalton Papali'i, Adi Savia, Hoskin Satutu, and Peter Gus Suakula. I think an interesting one here. Obviously, no other backup 6 like a Shannon Frizzell when we look at the team. So Akiri Ioane's kind of got that position locked. So it'll be interesting who they put in there. I know Peter Gus has played some time this season. I'm assuming Adi Savia could move in there easy. My assumption will be the team will be Akiri Ioane at 6, Sam Cane at 7 and Adi Sevilla 8 for the starting game. Dalton Popoli obviously cleared to play for the All Blacks, even though getting his appendix removed. So, yeah, depending how he comes back from that, we'll see how much game time he gets. And I'll be interested what their makeup of the bench is. But that would be, I assume, as the starting back row. I can't see any changes there. Anyone else kind of pushing themselves forward. Hoskins Tutu, I know maybe slides into 6, but the fact that he's only played 8 for the Blues this season kind of has me going, okay, they're playing Peter Gus as a 6, potential 6 type role. Into the halfbacks, which is probably the biggest room for discussion. Finlay Christie, Folau Fakatava, and Aaron Smith selected. Now, everyone kind of, the big worst kept secret was the Fakatava decision. The fact that Fozzie kind of pushed him forward to get him eligible was that he was going to be selected. Aaron Smith, even though this season hasn't been his best, he's a guaranteed slot. So then it left one spot open for TJ Perenara, Brad Weber, and Finlay Christie. Now, Finlay Christie has played well. Personal preference would have been Brad Weber in there. When I put my team, I had Finlay Christie as a lock, and then last minute chose Brad Weber as like a 51 out of 49 vote. Like it's that tight between those two, so I don't mind the selection process. Both have been fantastic. And the fact that Weber and TJ now have been selected for the Māori All Blacks, maybe there was that decision in mind. It is hard to go. The two halfbacks have come from the Highlanders who only won 4 games this season. As much as you can say, forward pack wasn't quite as good or backline wasn't quite as good, it is an interesting decision, but we'll see if it pays off. And Fakatava, I think, is a great selection, getting him in now, getting him some experience, but I assume it'll be Aaron Smith, Finlay Christie in the first game as 9, backup 9. Into the first 5, so Beauden Barrett, Richie Mo'unga, guaranteed. The selection of Stephen Perifeta is very much deserved over Bryn Gatland. I think Perifeta's deserve it, and I think the fact that he can play fullback is what kind of gave him the edge over Bryn Gatland, and I think he's played better than Bryn Gatland. Saying that, we all know as Josh Ioane and Bryn Gatland, I shouldn't leave Josh Ioane out because he's, again, been very good in his glimpses this season. When he's been for the Chiefs, he's been good. He just probably hasn't played enough games and due to injury and so forth. I think, Bryn Gatland's first cap off the rank will be, he'll go straight in there. So if one of these was free to go down, he'd be straight in there. I imagine Perifeta's probably not going to see the field. I'd be amazed. I think Richie Mo'unga starts, Beauden Barrett on the bench, one or the other. So that only leaves one other back spot open. Into the centres, where we've got kind of one interesting pick for me. We've got the 12s, which are Quinta Baia, David Havili, and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. Then the 13s, which are Rieko Ioane and Jack Goodhue. Now, Jack Goodhue's come back from a long-term layoff with injury. I wasn't over the moon about his performance in the Reds game. He definitely stood up on defence a bit more in the semi-final. To rush him back in, I'm not 100% certain of it. I probably would have... I mean, there's no one else is really the issue. The only other kind of option is Bailyn Sullivan. So I see the move to put him in there. I probably would have just started selected 4 12s and had an extra outside and said Lesia Whanganuku is going to be my 13 backup and Rieko Ioane is going to play the whole series. But again, I see that way. I see Rieko Ioane starting at 13 and I probably go Havili at 12 for the first game. I think he's played well enough to deserve that spot. So, I think that's the makeup. Just that interesting pick. I'm not against Goodhue when he's been in the All Blacks hasn't put a foot wrong. So let's not say that I'm trying to take away from Goodhue. It's just the fact that I think his return in the past couple of games, I don't know if he's 100% yet. So, we'll see. Then into the outside backs, which all of these players are deserved, but my biggest gripe is Jordie Barrett being named as an outside back. Now, Will Jordan is by far and away the best fullback in New Zealand, maybe even the world. So I'm saying he has to start 15. So if you're selecting Jordan as an outside back, you select him as a winger, which again, he's an unreal talent and needs to be on the field, so I get it, but I don't think he's a winger. So then you've got Severis, Caleb Clark, and Leicester Whanganuku, who thoroughly deserves it. So the way I see it is Leicester starting on one wing, I'll go Severis on the other, if not Jordie Barrett, and then Will Jordan at the back. It's just interesting to me because I think Jordie Barrett is a 12. The way I've seen him play, he's a 12. The fact that we've got so many good 12s is the issue here, and his versatility has pushed him to those outside backs. So it'll be an interesting makeup, but if I was selecting a team now for the first game, I'm going Dane Cole's starting hooker, 2 props, probably George Bauer and Ofa Tuingafasi. The way Bauer's played in the past 2 games, I think, was a massive oversight for me to leave him out of our selections. In the locking, I'd probably go Brodie Retallick and Sam Whitelock. 6, 7, 8 is Akili Ioane, Sam Cane, Adi Sevilla, a very good Lucy trio. 9, we've got, I reckon Aaron Smith will start. 10, I would go Richie Mo'unga, but you can easily go Beauden Barrett and you won't be wrong. 12 and 13, Havili and Rieko Ioane. And then Leicester, I'm going to go Geordie Barrett, even though against my goodwill on a wing, and Will Jordan as the fullback. Again, you could select Sevu Reece, you could select Caleb Clark, but I think that should be the starting team going into the the Steinlarger Series and the All Blacks versus the Ireland game. 6 new caps are thoroughly deserved in Aidan Ross, Peter Gus-Suakula, Falau Fakatava, Stephen Perifeta, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, and Lesha Whanganuku. Obviously, the conversation's going to be around Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, but I think definitely deserved. I don't know if he gets a start straight away. I think they bring him in towards the end of the series, maybe game 2, game 3 off the bench. And even if we're up 2-0, definitely a start. I think if we're up 2-0, and this will depend on how the series go, but if we get up 2-0, I think we'll see all 6 debutants start that game. Maybe not Fakatava, because I think he's best used off the bench, and may start straight from the bench at the get-go. But yeah, that's my feeling of the team. I think it's been fantastic that we've got this Māori All Blacks, so a lot of those guys who did miss out, who are eligible, are going to get a game against Ireland anyway, and against a strong Irish side. But really looking forward to this series. If you want to see more videos like this, please make sure to like and subscribe. But we will see you next time. Cheers. Bye.